Everything you have ever done was driven by just two forces, not 100, two. One is desire. It pulls you toward what you want. The other is fear. It pushes you away from what you might lose. Every decision you have ever made, every goal, everything you have quietly run from, was some mix of these two. And here is the unsettling part. You did not choose either of them. And most of the time, you cannot even feel them working. They feel like you. They feel like freedom. But they were running long before you had opinions about anything. And today, we can watch them do it. Start with desire because it wears the friendliest mask. You think desire is about pleasure. It is not. Deep in your brain sits a chemical called dopamine. And for a long time, we assumed dopamine was the molecule of happiness, the little hit of joy you get when something good happens. Then the neuroscientist Kent Berridge took that idea apart. What he found was that dopamine does not produce the pleasure of getting. It produces the craving of wanting. Scientists now separate these into two different things, wanting and liking, and they do not live in the same place. Wanting is loud, restless, and huge. Liking is small, quiet, and fragile, which means your brain has a powerful engine dedicated to making you chase things, and only a tiny, flickering one for actually enjoying them once you have them. Sit with what that does to a life. The wanting fires hardest before you get the thing. The promotion, the person, the house, the number in the account. On the way up, you burn, and then you arrive, and the strangest thing happens. The wanting goes quiet because its job is done, and the liking you were promised turns out to be a candle where you expected a bonfire. So you look up and find the next thing to want. Psychologists call this the hedonic treadmill. You run, the ground moves under you, and you end up exactly where you started, wanting again. Desire was never designed to be satisfied. It was designed to keep you moving. A carrot that dissolves the instant your teeth touch it. Now the other force, the louder one. Fear. If desire pulls you forward, fear yanks you back, and it does not pull with equal strength. It pulls harder. Two psychologists, Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky, discovered that the human mind does not weigh gains and losses evenly. Losing something hurts about twice as much as gaining the same thing feels good. Twice. Find $100 and you feel a small lift. Lose $100 and you feel a wound that lasts all day. Your brain is not running a fair scale. It is running a scared one. And that bias is not a flaw. It is a survival machine. For almost all of history, the creature that treated a possible threat as real and a possible reward as optional lived longer. Miss a meal and you get another chance tomorrow. Miss a predator once and there is no tomorrow. So evolution built you to fear losing far more than you love gaining. That ancient math is still running behind your eyes every time you refuse a risk, avoid a conversation, or stay somewhere that is quietly killing you because leaving feels like a loss. Here is where it comes together. Your brain runs two separate systems for this, and psychologists have mapped them. One system, built around reward, is always scanning for things to approach. The other, built around threat, is always scanning for things to avoid. And almost every moment of your life, one of them has the wheel. You are either reaching or bracing, chasing or protecting, leaning in with desire or pulling back with fear. Watch yourself for a single day, and you will start to see it. Why you opened your phone. Why you said yes when you meant no. Why you wanted them to text back. Why you did not send the message. Underneath the story you tell yourself, there are almost always just these two levers moving in the dark. Toward. Away. Toward. Away. And this is the part that should stop you cold. These forces are not yours. You did not install them. They are older than you, older than language, older than the human race. They were tuned across millions of years for one purpose, and it was never your happiness. It was to keep a fragile animal alive long enough to pass on its genes, Fear and desire do not care if you are fulfilled. They care that you survive and reproduce. That is the whole program. And most of your life, you are not the author of your choices. You are the narrator, arriving a half-second late, explaining decisions that fear and desire already made. So what do you do with that? You do not fight them. You cannot. A life with no desire is a life with no direction, and a life with no fear is a life that ends quickly. The goal was never to delete them. The goal is to see them, because something remarkable happens the moment you can name the force while it is happening. When you can feel the pull and think, quietly, that is desire, wanting again, or feel the grip and think, that is fear, guarding something. In that instant, a gap opens, a tiny space between the force and the action it was about to trigger. And in that gap, for the first time, there is room for something that is actually you, not the ancient program. You, choosing. That is the whole game. You will never stop wanting, and you will never stop being afraid, but you can stop being run by them without knowing it. You can catch the lever as it moves. You can feel desire pulling you toward the thing and decide on purpose whether to follow. You can feel fear bracing you against the risk and decide on purpose whether it is real. Fear and desire built the animal you came from. But the space between them, that quiet half-second where you finally see the strings, that space is where the person actually lives. Most people never find it. Now you know it is there.